Thank
Okay.
you so much for joining me. Why don't you tell me what your name is?
It's Abe Hassan, and I'm a NYU employee. I've been an NYU employee for about 2.5 years now, and it's a pretty nice gig here. But yeah, we grew up together on Roosevelt Island. Your father taught us music.
It's true.
Um, your dad actually, and I don't know if I ever told you this. I think I did, but your dad surprised me in a lot of ways, and I say that because he was very unconventional in the way he taught us music, and he introduced uh, hip hop
Yeah.
the class, which I was just like, whoa, okay, all right. Um, I actually I actually recited my first hip hop song in his class, and just remember thinking like, "Yo, this is pretty cool." I definitely wanted to learn about music, and I realized he could have taken it a bunch of places just because he allowed us to become comfortable with the type of music that we liked, and it just made us feel like confident and happy. We had a good time. So
It was
you know,
also a
I'll
part of
never
our generation.
Right, right. We grew up with it's very eclectic, very diverse neighborhood. Kids from all over the world. And again, when I think back to where we grew up and who we grew up with, I gotta tell you, man, we're pretty lucky because I don't know anyone in the United States that sort of has or had our situation.
Yeah, and I think growing up on Roosevelt Island because there was such diversity and so much access to culture,
Right,
I feel like we have a little bit of an advantage in this world
right.
in terms of harnessing that perspective and turning it into success and positivity. And I know that you have become one of my most watched friends on Facebook with your morning positivity sessions. What made you start that?
Um, what made me start the morning positivity sessions was, I think, the way a lot of things start in life is from tragedy. Um, Last year, I lost my father to complications from diabetes. And the interesting about my relationship with him was it wasn't great. He wasn't around. He only came around later in life. And I held a lot of anger and resentment towards him. And on top of that, my mother passed away 6 years prior, or 5 years prior, excuse me. And so now it just hit me that both my parents are gone, and I don't have any parents to talk to, or to relate to, or to just hang out with. Um, and I held a lot of anger from that, and I one day I just woke up and I realized that this anger it doesn't help, it only hurts. And how do I get rid of it? What's the opposite of being angry and negative? And it's positivity. So I said, all right, let me give it a shot. No, it doesn't cost me anything. It doesn't ruin my day. It doesn't inconvenience me in any way, to just be positive and be happy. And it was right around the same time I was introduced to the law of attraction.
Mhm.
And and I read about the law of attraction. I watched the movie on Netflix, and the documentary, and then I started connecting the dots because I realized that a lot of successful people out there have that connection to the law of attraction, and they all are saying the same thing in terms of positivity, in terms of you know one of the key things into improving your life is to be positive, is to think positively, and to maintain that positive mind frame and flow. So that's pretty much how I got into it. And one day, something just told me, and it was, whether you want to call it God or the universe or whatever. It doesn't matter what religion you believe in. Um, something just told me to wake up and start doing it early in the morning. And I'm not a morning person. Definitely, it takes me a while to get happy in the morning, but I just all of a sudden I just started doing it this past summer, and honestly, it had a really good effect, not only on me but on other people. I was very surprised to get emails and messages of people saying, "Whoa, dude, I can't believe you started doing this. You're absolutely right." And by no means, I am not a guru. I'm not a super expert. Although, based on this experience, I plan to be. I plan to spend more time reading, getting to know my craft, and becoming an expert, so that um, I can easily and effortlessly um, sort of ingrain this into other people's lives, and probably write a book.
That'd be awesome. Or have a TV show.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, yeah,
You
definitely.
know, a lot of a lot of people say that heartache, loss, stress, anxiety, um, that has a really strong effect on your total body. Not just your mind.
No.
It's a downward spiral, right? Because it negatively impacts everything in your life, and then it's so hard to kind of get yourself out of there. So do you have any tips and tricks for how to get yourself out of that mental funk? Maybe you wake up early in the morning and you're like, oh, yesterday sucked. How do I make today a great day? How do I start off the day on a
So
positive
the good question. That's a very good question. The first tip is to not force it. I think, and part of not forcing it is acknowledging that you are down, acknowledging that you are at a low point, that things aren't going right, and just sort of like take a break, take a mental break, because it starts here. It starts up here in your mind, and then it goes here to your vocals, and then once it comes out of your mouth, you just put it in the universe, and you just told the universe that that's what you want. So if you accidentally yell out that I'm gonna get screwed today, then you just put it out into the universe that something bad's gonna happen, and guess what? You're gonna get screwed today. But if you sort of breathe, breathe in and out, and acknowledge that, okay, I'm not having a good day, but I know tomorrow will be better. And guess what? Tomorrow will be better. And I think one of the first things that I want people, or I encourage people to do, is sort of meditate. Do like a little light meditation, and say to yourself, I am a happy person. I can feel the good energy coming. Whatever kind of mantra or affirmation that you like, go online, Google the word affirmations, positive affirmations, whether it be for relationships, or whether it be for money, finances, or whether it be for a job. Just Google positive affirmations for the things that you want, and a bunch of them will come online, and you just pick out your favorite ones. You can modify them, write them down, post them in your room, and make sure that that's the first thing you see every morning when you wake up. When the first thing is, when you wake up in the morning, you want to start off on a right note. So start off right by waking up and looking at something happy, and saying your positive affirmations, and just feeling happy and good.
My grandfather, who passed away a couple of years ago, he lived till he was almost 98,
Nice.
and he worked until three weeks up until the day he died.
Wow.
Um, every morning he woke up. He was one of the most positive people on the planet, and he loved what he did, and he loved to make a positive impact on other people. But every morning he'd wake up, and it didn't matter if he was ridden with cancer, if he had arthritis all over his body from playing guitar. His fingers were like little zigzags, and he woke up every morning, he looked himself in the mirror, and he said, I feel great, I look great, I look really great.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
today is going to be an amazing day. And every morning he started off like that. It didn't matter if he was in the hospital, if he was at home, if he, if he was practicing for a gig. He'd go out, he'd take a long walk, he'd get some fresh air. And anytime something negative happened, he would acknowledge it, like you said, and put it into perspective. And one thing I learned in my studies of the laws of attraction is that writing down what you want is so powerful. It really allows you to get that, to get what it is that you want. And one of the exercises that I have in this program, actually specifically for this day on the positive note, is writing down what you want, why you want it, and how you'll feel when you get it. And then what you'll do to celebrate so that you can start acting as if you already have that.
Right.
And one thing that I love about watching your morning positivity sessions is that you're always like dancing and you're jumping off, the steps in front of your building, and you've got good music playing. And one thing that I am not a morning person. You'll probably notice that I usually log in to watch your recorded sessions because I'm trying to get all my kids out the door and
You and a few other people.
And I don't drink coffee, so it's
Oh,
like
wow.
punching myself in the face trying to wake myself up every morning.
Right.
But what kind of exercises do you do that helps to keep you in that mode of positivity? Like my grandfather used to go for a 2-mile walk every day. What kind of physical exercises do you do?
So I don't do too many physical exercises, but the one thing I do encourage a lot of people to do is to run. Cardio really helps you cardio does two things. Cardio sheds, and by shedding, it sort of clears the clutter. And what people don't realize is that a lot of us have something up there. We've all got these great ideas. We've all got these good things inside of us, but the negativity comes on and it clutters. Okay, we are. Think about it this way: we're born positive. We're born into the light. We're born into this happy situations where from day one, the people, the parents that you're born to are happy and they love you. So you're born into positivity. What happens is negativity comes in and it just it clutters you, it covers you up. And what we learn to do, or once you figure it out, is you learn to sort of shake things off. And cardio does that. And if you're not a physical cardio person, meditation is the next best thing. Meditate, meditate, meditate. Again, and it doesn't matter what religion you are. It doesn't matter whether you're Christian, Muslim, Buddhist. Meditating is the spiritual version of running, of exercise. It just sort of sheds everything away, and that's what you want to do. You want to push. You want to clear your mind, clear your energy, clear your spirit of all the negativity, and meditate, or run, or do something physical. Okay, and that's what I do, and that's what I recommend other people to do.
You're also a really good dancer. I've seen you
Yes,
dance
yes.
at my friend's wedding a couple months ago. You were showing us all up. I thought I had some moves. I don't have moves like you.
Yes. Wait, are you referring to the wedding?
Yeah, Randy's wedding.
Yeah. I do love to dance. I don't give myself enough credit, or I don't talk about it too much. But I definitely like to, dancing is definitely another way to sort of shake off the negative vibes and the negative uh, aura that's on you. So yeah, if you love to dance, I recommend you go dance, you go do your thing.
Do you have any good positive songs that you like to dance to?
Yes, I do. Marky Mark's "Good Vibrations."
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. There's certain songs that and I'm not embarrassed to say that. There's certain songs that you hear when it's got a really good beat. Yeah. I'm trying to think of another one. I had another one recently that I downloaded. Was I'm so excited by the Pointer Sisters,
Oh, that's a good one.
and that one actually for a good month I ran that one in the morning
That's a good
when
one.
I got to the shower. And it's just a good way to feel good and get yourself ready to go. Um,
I'm so
this way,
excited, and I think I like it.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
She
So,
sounds surprised. Like, I'm surprised. I'm so excited. I think I like this. I think I like this excitement
exact-
in life.
I'm about to lose control, and I
I'm
think I
about
like
to
it.
lose control because I'm so excited.
Exactly.
Awesome.
And honestly, what you do is you forget that, when you hear that song, you get out of the shower, you brush your teeth and you put your clothes on, you walk out of your apartment and you realize, you your day is gonna your day you're prepared for any negativity that comes your way, you're prepared to instantly get it out, and just positive things are going to happen. You're not worried about the crowded subways, or you're not worried about, people who might be crazy and deranged, or who are going to bother you. You're not worried. You're not thinking about that stuff. And when you're not thinking about the negative things, you allow more positivity. Uh, you allow more positive things to happen to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you have that open mind, and when you have that open, happy mind, the sky is honestly the limit. Like, good things will happen to you that you didn't even think about. I remember in 1 week I found $20 on the floor, twice.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just one of these random things that happen, and sort of, it sort of guided me to the money. And that's what positivity does. It helps you sort of, it helps your sixth sense, uh, focus, and it guides you to good things. And I'm crossing the street one day, and something told me to go right instead of left, and I went right, and there was two $10 bills on the floor. And then, a few days later, I'm coming home from work, and I'm checking my mail. Something told me to look down on the floor. I looked down, and there was $20
Nice.
right there.
Great.
And honestly, when that happened, the other thing you got to do is you got to show gratitude. I showed gratitude. I thank God. I thank the universe for pointing me into the direction of that money. And that's what it is.
Yeah. I someone recently posted a story on a group that I'm on Facebook, and I want to ask you this question. So, if you had $86,400, right,
Hmm.
in your pocket, you had it
Okay.
in your pocket,
Uh,
the very big pocket, and someone ran by you in the subway and stole $10, would you just throw the rest away on the subway platform?
would I throw it away?
Would the rest of it? Would you throw
Yeah.
the rest of it away?
No, I wouldn't.
No. Well,
No.
there's about 84,600 moments or 86,400 moments in a day.
Hmm.
And sometimes something negative will happen and it'll take us out for a couple seconds, a couple minutes, 10 minutes, right? And we throw away the rest of the day. Why do we do that? If we wouldn't throw away the rest of the, $85,390, why would we throw away the rest of the day? And I love that analogy because our time is even more valuable than money, right? Don't you think?
Absolutely, I agree. I think what happens is we because not enough people are aware, and it's about awareness. It's like with anything else. If you have to be aware of this thing that we call the law of attraction. You have to be aware of this thing that we call positivity, and you know that what's really important. Putting things into perspective. Money, yes, is important, but time is actually more important. And when I realized time is important, you actually do your best to waste less time. Think about people who are in prison, and when they come out, and I think one of the biggest things they realize is that, I just lost a couple years of my life to something. And I realized that, I don't want to lose any more time. You can't get time back. Even if they're compensated, or like those people who are falsely incarcerated, even if you're compensated for the time you spent in prison, for being falsely accused, it doesn't make up for the fact that you lost 3 years of your life inside a cell. You can't get that back. You missed, you missed maybe an election. Don't
Right.
forget to vote today. You missed, um, you missed a kid's birthday party. And although there will be more, you can't get that time back. So, it's important to recognize what's really important in life, and what's really important is you being happy. And it is not in any way selfish. Please, a lot of people have the misconception that this is about being selfish, and it's not. You have to learn to love yourself first. You've got to be able to be strong for you first, so that you can be strong for other people. If you are weak, if you are if you're not strong enough for yourself, you cannot be strong for other people. Eventually the people that you're helping, you'll collapse, and they will collapse on top of you. So in order for you to strengthen the foundation that is your family or your friends or whatever life you have to strengthen you. You're the biggest and most important foundation piece in the structure. And when you solidify your structure first, you solidify the entire family structure, friend structure, life structure.
Yeah, it's true. My daughter, who is in kindergarten, she
Hmm.
came home the other day and she was telling my other daughter, "You know what, Shay, you're really taking out of my bucket right now." And
Huh.
it's great that in kindergarten they're teaching them how to fill up their bucket and how to effectively communicate when someone is doing something to take out of your bucket.
Yeah.
And as adults, we are running around like empty buckets all the time. And and then we're surprised when we are short tempered. We're surprised when, we get into a fight with somebody. We're surprised when we're constantly depressed. And it's because we're not doing enough to really feed our souls. And a big part of this program is about feeding your entire being. It's your mind, body, and your soul. And there's so many reasons to eat, right? There's the reason that maybe it tastes really good. You're out at a nice restaurant. Maybe you're obviously the main reason is for sustenance.
Hmm.
We need to eat in order to survive. But a
Hmm.
lot of people, they have an empty bucket and they fill it with junk food.
Right.
That's what makes them feel comfortable, and so they're eating because they're sad or because they're upset or they're angry, and they're not doing other things that that are not food related, that can help to fill up their bucket. So that's kind of my last question to you is, what do you think is the relationship between your physical health and your mental health?
Oh man, good question. Was that on the prep
A nice,
paper?
I know, a nice
Okay.
easy question to end with.
Yeah, yeah. What is the physical relationship between your what is the relationship between your physical and your mental health?
Yeah.
Um, I think it's knowledge. And what do I mean by that? I mean it's knowledge and self awareness. It's being aware and knowing that uh, you know everything is connected. Your physical and mental are connected. Because honestly, um when people see this, and or they read about the law of attraction or whatever, or anything that's positive, and they try it for a day or two, and they get started, things go well and then things don't go well. And the reason why things don't always go well all the time is because we sort of like, slip away. We sort of lose focus, and we need to be reminded often, and even the greats and the most successful people, the Tony Robbins, the Oprahs of the world will tell you that they often reconnect. They often go back to the beginning, go back to that first book they read, they go back to that mentor that taught them everything they knew, and they relearn things that they had learned 10, 15, 20 years ago. And what that does is it just reminds us that this thing is real, it works. It reminds us that we need to continue to stay connected, and that we need to work. It's a work in progress. We're constantly working, just like we're constantly learning as human beings, and we will always constantly learn until the day you die. Your grandfather, I'm sure, was constantly learning, which is probably the reason why he worked. He liked learning, and he constantly learned up until the day that he passed away. And God bless him for that good. What did you say? 93,
98.
98. Oh wow, that's a good run. If I get to 90, I'm good. I'm like, Jesus, take me now. I'm good. But 98 years, and I'm sure he's still a pretty sharp man.
Yeah.
He can probably tell you between the age of 90 and 98, he learned a lot. He learned a lot, and so I think people need to recognize the fact that in order to maintain that relationship between physical and mental, and to keep sharp, you constantly have to learn and update. It's kind of like our phones. We updating. There's constant
Don't do the iOS
update.
10 update.
Exactly. And as annoying as they may be, they are necessary.
They
They
are.
are necessary for the functionality of our phones, for us to be able to avoid, you know, huge viruses and huge malfunctions. And it's the same thing with us human beings. For you to be able to continue the things that you're doing, especially you with your Mama O'Neill cooks. I know that you're constantly learning. You're constantly looking for new recipes, new ideas, new things that you can come up with and cook. And that's what we need to understand as human beings in order to keep the physical and mental connected. Learn always look to learn, always look to grow. Whatever way you can, whether it's like I said, like we talked about before, staying physically active, and sort of clearing your mind, and reading. It's one thing I wanted to talk about, and encourage a lot more people to do. Reading is fundamental. It's the best way to learn anything and everything, and never stop reading. And that's one of the things that I'm actually going to focus more of in the next months leading into 2017. I'm going to focus more on reading. I'm going to watch less TV. I'm actually going to impose a challenge on myself that I won't watch any television for the entire 2017 year. I don't know how that's going to work because I have a lot of favorite TV shows. Um, but but part of that is understanding that, hey, we've got all these streaming services now, and I can practically binge watch, 20 television shows, within a couple months. So I'll be fine. I'm not gonna die. I'm not. I'm not gonna struggle. And It's definitely, certainly not gonna affect my positive outlook on life. If anything, I look forward to it because I know that my mind will grow probably exponentially because I'm watching less TV. And because like part of the positivity sessions in the morning is to not watch TV, don't watch the news. Because one of the things I noticed, I'd wake up in the morning, as I'm getting dressed after I get out the shower, I'm watching the news, and it's this person got shot, this person died, this person got robbed. You
Right.
know, an old lady got punched in the face and robbed, and it's like when you hear those things, you start to go into that negative place. How could a person do this? I'm so angry. I'm annoyed. Guess what? You just potentially ruined your day because you have a negative mindset. So I tell people don't watch the news in the morning anymore. Why do we really only watch to get the weather?
Right.
Anyway, I think that's the biggest reason. So just check your phone or check the night before, and you'll be fine. Otherwise, again, start your day off on a positive note.
That's great. Abe, I'm so proud to know you. I'm grateful that
Likewise.
we have been in each other's lives for 30 years probably.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, which
yeah.
is that's insane. I mean, I I never thought that we would be in this place helping to inspire other people to live happier, healthier lives. But it doesn't surprise me, especially coming from you. You are such a wonderful person inside and out. And whatever you've gone through, I'm so happy that you've been able to turn that into, you've made it, let it make you stronger, and you're turning it outside of yourself to help other people, and you're doing such great work, and I can't wait to see what you do next. I'm really
Thank you.
really
Thank you very
excited.
much.
I'm
I
so
really
excited and I just can't hide it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You seem pretty excited. And like I'm happy for you. I'm happy with the things that you're doing. I know we spoke personally a few times, and I honestly, you're right. I can't believe I've known you for so long. 30 years, and I actually honestly look forward to 30 more. It's you and even you and your husband. I remember the first time I met him and played poker with him, and met your kids. You have a beautiful family. Like I said, I know your dad,
Thank
your
you.
sister, and I think you're awesome. And it's funny because honestly, 6 months ago, I did not think I'd be here talking to you about this. And look at where we are. And to say that this positive thing came out of just starting to think positive is really an understatement. I, and I think there's a lot more to come. Who knows where you and I could be with this thing 6 months from now,
Yeah.
or 16 months from now.
Yeah.
So
Six
I
six
look
months ago,
forward.
6 months ago when you first started, you really helped me. We had gone through a really tough start to the year. We had lost very close family and friends.
Yeah, I remember you said that.
Got very sad news about a dear friend of mine who is losing her daughter, a friend of yours too. And I was low. I was really low. And you were kind of funking out at the same time. And then you came back strong, and you had that first morning positivity session after you'd taken a month off.
Hmm.
And it was so hot. It was so on fire, and it just lit me up. And I was like, you know what? Get yourself out of this funk, Lindsay, and do what you're meant to be doing in this world. And that's, you're meant to be helping other people, and you can't help other people, like you said before, that you can't help somebody else unless you're helping yourself first. And I'm so grateful for that morning positivity session because it really snapped me out of it. And you're right, we need a constant reminder. We need to go back to how we first learned it. Read the law of attraction over and over and over again. Join a group that inspires you every single day. Watch Abe on Facebook, Abe Hassan. Um, follow him on his YouTube channel once that gets going.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great stuff out there, and you're right, the news and the media, they always like to focus on the negative, and they always keep us in the negative. So let's focus on the positive. Let's make this world a better place, one step at a time, one person at a time. And I think you're on the path to doing that, so I'm really grateful. Thank you so much for your time today. And
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. I realized that we have this connection, and I think it was meant to be, and I really believe that we are meant to do something great with it and help other people. And I hope when people see this, they're inspired to develop new and happy relationships, new partnerships, things that will take them upward, upward and onward,
yeah,
on a positive note. So,
or
uh,
rekindle old friendships from 30 years ago.
absolutely, absolutely. Like, why didn't I hang out with this person sooner? What was I
Yeah,
thinking?
seriously.
Yeah, yeah. So,
All good
thank,
stuff.
thanks for
Well,
having me. And I look forward to being in a few more of your videos, interviews, because I have a plethora of things to talk about, um, good and funny.
good. Well,
Yeah,
you are an entertainer, and next time we might have to put some music on and dance together. Like,
absolutely.
yeah,
I cannot resist the urge to entertain, just like I'm doing now.
yeah.
So I forgot that accessory. This is my this is my Snapchat accessory, like the ladies do. You know.
Very nice.
Yes, thank
Very
you. All right.
nice. All right, my friend. Have a great day. Make it a
Thank
great day.
you.
Talk
You
to you
too.
soon. Thank you.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.